welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Iman.
And I'm Abby.
And we just thought this would be a great time to come in and make a video on everything going on. We're not going to talk about, obviously, everything because there's so much going on. But it was the fact that Abby and I are women of color. We're black. I'm half black, half Persian, just so you guys are aware. We thought we, of course, need to make a video about what's going on.
it's really appropriate. And like we've been talking as well, we've been so proud of so many of the people we look up to, the people that we follow, using their platforms to talk about the injustice going on. And so, you know, it's also important for us to share our perspectives and our thoughts as people of color. So, and, you know, hopefully there's an ear that will listen, you know, that's really where we're at right now. So,
yeah. I think that's really, because we've been discussing this all
every
week,
day,
every single day. It's been a lot. So we're going to try to unpack it as much as we can. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So I'd like if you can at least sit down, listen with us, and
consider this a podcast, kind of.
Sure, this is more. This is a discussion.
Talking.
You guys can discuss in the comments as well, and rather than just click on the video and see what the title says or what we look like, and then make an assumption, I would say really stick it out and listen to what we have to say on this, because I think that's the thing happening right now.
Yep. This is reality, and like for anyone who wants to pretend like it isn't a thing, or people that are still uncomfortable about it, it's just like this is a reality for so many people in this country and so many people around the world. It's just like, you know, I'm sure there's going to be people that are upset that we're talking about this because, like, we just want to laugh and all this and that. And it's like, you know what? There's a time and a place to laugh, and there's a time and a place to talk about this. And this is a big time, especially in America. Well, around the world. All over. Yeah. This is a very important movement that's happening, and it needs to be discussed. So.
It does. So... if you're not familiar, we're talking about the George Floyd incident. We're talking about the police brutality. We're talking about
Black Lives Matter.
We're talking about racism, all of that. You know, George Floyd's death was really the catalyst for everything. This is not a first. This has been happening. I mean, really, it felt like literally this last month. Where are we? We're in June. So like in May to June, it was like you kept hearing about all these black people getting killed. Yeah. So it's like Ahmaud Arbery, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right or wrong, Breonna Taylor. Yep. Like these just random occurrences where people were like just jogging or in their bed sleeping.
Girl.
Yeah. So it's like it was just kind of like, wait, whoa, what?
Yeah. It's like
pop. Like, and then this. With George Floyd, I think it was done. Like it was, and there was footage too.
Yeah, this was documentation of murder happening right then and there. 9 minutes of someone suffering. Yep. And dying. That's really what it is. And you know, as much as we have seen the aftermath of what the police have done, or even, I mean, we have seen video, but for some I get pissed off with this. But for some reason, even with video, it's not enough. But like, it's not enough. But this, because it's literally this horrendous act of someone kneeling on someone while three others just stand there,
and they were kneeling on him too.
Yeah,
it was like
they were all on him. Yeah, that's true. So yeah. So it's just like it seems way more. Maybe Corona just got everyone extra vibed up.
I mean, that's another thing. We're going through a pandemic as well as all of this, so it's such a weird time in our lives.
I'm just waiting for them zombies.
Right. It's like
next.
I don't want to say what's
meteor
next because I'm scared. Like I'm just scared. It's like I have never felt this way before. In the pit of my stomach, something feels weird and off. Like I feel like this is literally a revolution. Like things are about to change either this way or that way, and it's like it's eerie. There's just a weird feeling. It's been a lot to take in, really, and just kind of being on social media, just seeing a lot. There's a lot of things. Like, I mean, it comes down to this. There's still racism going on in the world and in America. And I think we forget that there is racism sometimes. Like, or we know that it is there. Yeah. But I feel like this incident, this murder, this horrific situation has really brought out the beauty in people and the ugly. Yeah. And so it's just like, seeing a lot of stuff.
But that's funny when you say, like, we've known about racism, but it's like, you know, when you really see it unfold, it's like it's kind of like a slap in the face of like, oh yeah, it is like true facts. And like that kind of really goes into, you know, that's so relatable. I mean, obviously we're not being attacked. We're not being shot, but you know, we've gone through racism, you know, growing up, like, you know, I guess going into our backgrounds a little bit, you know, I was born in the Northwest, very white community. I was really the only Black person till like the 3rd grade. And then, there was like 1 more or 2 more added. After that, I wasn't the only one. And, you know, I grew up in a home very diverse. My mother is a short white woman from Florida. My dad's big Puerto Rican man, Black from, you know, Puerto Rico. And then my brother, he's everything. Yeah. So it's like I've come from a very diverse home, but I lived in a very white community. And, you know, growing up, I dealt with so much racism. Yeah. And it's like, you know it's there, and you're just like, oh yeah, people are racist. And then like you're in a moment where it's just like, oh my God, it's happening to me. Yeah. And like, what? But like, but you grew up in a different environment from me.
Well, yeah, like I'm from the Bay Area. Yeah. I'm from like Milpitas, San Jose, Fremont. I moved around a lot in California, and like I'd never experienced racism as a child or anything like that. I was really blessed in that way, I guess you can say. But the thing was like where we're from. So like I have a lot of friends who are Indian. I have a lot of friends Asian. I mean Hispanic, like Black, white. It's so mixed. I mean, and then there's people who are mixed too. So it's just no one, like we talk about race, but it's not the way that if you're from the Bay, you know what I'm talking about, at least. Or maybe even like New York or something where you grew up in a dense place that was very diverse. Like, of course we brought up race and like, but it was never in like, you know, I never felt like it was to hurt people, like, or that I'm better than you or you're lower or something like that. But it wasn't until I moved to the Northwest when I was 14 where I felt out of place. I felt like a minority, because back where I'm from, if you're white, you're a minority. So it was like my whole world was like, whoa. And that's when I started to deal with discrimination, deal with racism, rude remarks, or people who just, you know, they either didn't know what I was, so they thought they could say some stuff that was racist. So it was a very weird situation. It was just weird. Yeah. Very weird. But I feel like we both, like, so, I mean, I came here still as a young person, like 14, so that's kind of like...
So that's a prime point to have to really get into a city that's very known for being racist. Like, like, you know, it's on the top, so, but... Yeah.
It's weird to talk about it because it's not to say that there isn't racism in the community where I grew up, because there was racism, and there you just hear things or you see things that are a little bit like, this is weird. Yeah. This is weird, you know? But, I mean, the racism is just different than here. Yeah. Versus here. Yeah, and so,
that's true.
I guess it's not like I'm in heaven. And there is like a Garden of Eden or something.
Different types of racism that you face. So, like, there's been great talk about allies. Mm-hmm. And, like, I know, especially, like, because I've been using mostly Instagram, obviously, because a lot of my friends who are protesting are sharing stories for them. But I also see a lot of stuff about how to be an ally to, you know, people of color. And it's been very interesting because, you know, it's been cool because they've been showing the people to donate to the causes.
Yes.
And on top of that, like calling, you know, your local mayor, calling the mayor of whatever city, like Minneapolis or whatever. So there's been a lot of like great talk about how they can show that support on like the bigger spectrum.
Yeah.
But we haven't really been, at least I haven't heard it so much about talking about what you can do every day. Like when you're out to be an ally. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, I think that that's an important topic because I think we're past the I'm not racist thing. We're in this new era of you've got to be anti-racist at this point because we were living in a place where we're like we're hanging out with our friends or family or people, whatever, and we're like, of course they're not racist, or of course like that white person isn't racist, but there is. If you're not calling out like racism that's happening in front of you, or like your family members are saying things, or whatever, like that is supporting.
Yeah.
There's
you're being complicit.
This is what I posted this because of that fireman Terrell.
Oh yeah.
Pacey or
Which
Passy.
that
I cried.
That
I know. I cried. Because he was just so shaken up, which, you know, of course, but he was just recently interviewed. He was a firefighter, and he was in front of the firehouse, and these cops came and guns drawn, like no questions asked. And he was just like, "Look, I'm in my uniform. I'm in front of the fire station. I'm a firefighter. I'm one of you guys." And he's like, "Where's the gun? Where's the gun?" It's just this. It's anyways. Terrell Posse, look that interview up if you can. I have it on my Instagram. But he made a quote that was very important, and that's what really broke my heart. Was he says, all it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good people out here, but they're not, being good is not enough. Like literally, you can be a good person and be quiet. You can't be quiet anymore because this is what's happening. Like this evil is spewing out this hatred, and it's growing. It's like festering.
Unfortunately, we have a president that is fanning the flame. Like you know what?
Yes,
you can think what you want about him. If you support him, that's great. But to call it as it is, he is not helping this country. He's dividing it.
Yes,
especially when he goes on national television and says, you know, we support blue, or like, you know, we believe blue blood. It's just like that. That's literally a big middle finger to
what's happening right now.
Everyone who is fighting.
Yes. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to be really honest and real. Black people are targeted. They are. And they're targeted by police officers. It's just what it is. I have seen, I don't know how many videos in the last week alone, because I'm on Reddit, and thank God everyone's recording videos nowadays.
And keep recording.
Posting.
Keep recording, keep posting.
You have to for your own safety too right now. This is what everyone, doesn't matter what color you are, you need to record, because the police are going after everybody.
Yeah.
They are hurting everyone. Now, are all police officers doing it? Not every single one, obviously, but enough are doing it that it is causing. Yeah, it's horrific. But there was there's just a few times where, especially with this fireman. Yes. If he wasn't black, they wouldn't have done this to him, because like it was, they got a call in and were like, oh, this is the suspect is 6 foot, dark skin, wearing this. Yeah. And you just suspect, and there just needs to be a change. Obviously, we're gonna talk about this, like reform for the police. Yeah. That needs to happen at this point. It is everyone is getting hurt right now by police, but clearly it's like when you are black, you can't even go bird watching in Central Park. Girl, you
can't do nothing. You kind of have to be aware of what's going on around you, because from a perspective of someone who is black, we literally cannot. First of all, it's hard for me to go into a parking lot or a store because I am afraid that I'm going to be gunned down. I don't know if it's the same for you, but there's been too many cases of ordinary people. Yes. You know, just trying to do daily things, and being gunned down, like, you know, in, I don't know if it was Kentucky or Tennessee, where, you know, this black, you know, grandpa was taking his grandson to the store for a school project, and he got shot in the head, just in the parking lot. So it's just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm not like paranoid, but it's always in the back of my head.
No, it is scary. It is something you should be scared of, because it's happening. It's real.
It's very real for us.
I think that for me, I don't think that a cop is gonna kill me. I think some other people might.
Just people in general. Like, I'm no longer talking about just like cops, because we have not experienced a negative, you know, situation with, you know, cops.
We haven't been in a situation. Yeah. We haven't really gotten tickets, really, or like any speeding tickets or anything to interact with a cop. Yeah. So, you know, maybe if we were in a place that we interacted with them more, we would have more of a story there. Yeah. But I know we're both freaked out every time if we ever got pulled over. I'm always like, like, it's really frightening of like, because you don't know, is this cop going to hurt me? And that is always in the back of your head. Yeah. As a black person.
Like, as a person of color. How, are they going to escalate this, or are they going to be cordial? That's the one thing. It's just like, I'm just like, are they going to be triggered by something? Yes. Like, is there something in my car that they're going to be like, what's that? And just pull me out. Like, you never know.
You don't know. But what it is, I think the most important thing is just listen, lend an ear to people around you who are telling their stories. Because what I've noticed, especially going on the evil Facebook, which I hate going on, and I don't know. On there. I haven't been on Facebook, but I went on recently, and it was a problem. And I just see a lot of people who I used to go to church with, and like their friends and family, and they're very conservative Christian people, and they're posting all lives matter, and well, don't all lives matter, and it's this weird like thing that's happening. When we keep clearly saying Black Lives Matter does not mean all lives don't matter. And these videos...
But that's how... I'm sorry, they're being very narcissistic.
It's very narcissistic.
They are taking away from the fact that there is a group of people that are struggling.
Like even 10 or 20. It's everyone's saying their story, and they're still ignoring it. They're still gaslighting us. And they're still saying, no, that's not true. Well, the statistics say... It's a real thing that is happening, and they're ignoring it. Yeah. And it's really frustrating.
It's literally having that conversation with someone who cannot see any other perspective. Yeah. And it's just like, it's actually quite frightening, the fact that it's just like, there's literally, if we were talking, I don't know, but I know, I'm getting angry.
It's hurtful.
It's very hurtful, because it's literally them making it about themselves again. And it's just like, literally nothing's wrong for you right now. No. Like, we understand that every person is individual. Everyone goes through their own struggle. But as a whole, Black people are suffering. And when we try and raise our voice and be like, hey, by the way, we're suffering and we'd like it to change, you all, like, not you all, but people are just like, hold on now. Yep. We all are suffering. Yep. I can't get my hair cut. I can't get the manager.
Why was it when they were out protesting, everything was chill and everyone was calm, and they were protesting for haircuts?
For haircuts.
We're protesting because people are getting killed,
dying,
massacred.
It is
in the streets, in your rooms,
the priorities.
Taking your grandkid to the store. You look it up. I mean, it's online for everyone to see. The facts are there. Yeah. People of color are being murdered. Now, people who I follow, like Ethan Klein from H3H3 and other people have said stories of like how their interactions with police have always been really great. And so for them, they live in a world that they don't understand. That how can things escalate? That's why they always say, well, what did you do? What did they do? Right. They must have said something or done something.
George Floyd must have done something to make that man have to put his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. Yeah. Must have. Someone was having a conference or gathering, and they were talking about, you know, how often do you think a person of color has to deal with racism? And, you know, everyone's just like, you know, once a day. And she's like, yeah, at least once a day. But think about, it's more like 8 times a day, depending on where you are in the country, where you were. So,
Yeah.
so that 8 times a day dealing with an interaction that was so negative and has to deal with racism or prejudice or discrimination, like, it's very tiring.
Yes.
Even 1 time a day is ridiculous.
It's not okay.
And it happens more times than what you think. So opening an ear to a friend of color or even someone that you meet and you just start a conversation.
Realities are this, is you know, we all do struggle. We're not saying that we're not struggling together. I think a lot of people, class has another thing to do with it. Money has another thing to do with it. So, because there's a lot of white people who live in bad neighborhoods or who are, you know, low income, and they struggle really hard, and they, you know, it felt like it was the same fight for them, I guess. Like, I've heard other people's stories like that, and I can believe that too, because it is true. I think that in this situation right now, though, again, we got to come back to this. All lives do matter. But we need to
help Black lives, because those
Black
things
lives
are suffering right now.
Help. I mean, if people are getting, like, literally murdered in the street and being recorded, because we're in a time, we're in 2020.
Yeah.
Where there is camera phones everywhere.
Yeah.
And for someone to be able to do that, and not that he's gotten away with it, because they've all been charged. Now we need to see. I mean, not charged, but they've. Is that what it is? They've been arrested.
Yeah.
Now, what will they get? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the fact is, it's like, we need to get to a point where we're stopping that before it, we need to get to a point where that's not even happening.
Well, that's like, so that's like the police reform, trying to figure that out, right?
Is really important, which, you know, that's, the reform is, or I don't even know if they've been using that word, reform.
Defund the police, but I like to say reform.
I would say reform too, and I think we should actually change our thought process about being defunded versus being reformed, because, you know, there's a lot of things that are good about the police. Yes, obviously, if you look at the history about police, it was to keep Black people in their place and all this jazz. So we know that. But this is where we get to start shifting how we train cops.
Yes.
Which is a big one.
Yes.
How we're training them to restrain people, how we're training them to keep calm in a situation, because
de-escalation.
It's utter, yes, that's a good one. It's utter bullshit. I'm sorry that, again, and I'm sure you've seen it online where people are saying that cops have all this training, all this and that, and they're allowed to freak out during a situation when they have the gun.
Yep.
But the person where the gun is aimed at, and they're probably innocent or not doing something what they think they're doing.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to keep calm, and if they don't keep calm, then they're dead.
Yeah.
So, like, that whole situation needs to be fixed.
Yes.
And, like, you know, therapy is a big thing that cops need to go through at least once a month. At least, if not more. Like, that's where the funding needs to be going.
It needs to be harder to get into the police, to become a police, and there needs to be way more training.
Absolutely.
There's way more schooling on it. There is just way too many hot-headed police officers. There's too many kids who are bullied, and now they're police officers, and they want to get back at people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, just a lot of bad apples.
There's bad apples, and there's good apples.
But but there's too many bad, and the good guys are. It's just hard. Again, you can't keep quiet, but being a cop is really tough, because it's a gang. It's like you gotta all be together. Crew. You know, that's your crew. That's you bleed blue.
The sharks.
So, like, girl, it's crazy.
No, it is.
It's just like what. That's why I'm thankful.
Yeah.
That people have been posting these videos on Reddit, because it's like one after the other after the other after the other. Police brutality, especially on these peaceful protesters. Yes. I mean, people have lost eyes with the rubber bullets, which are supposed to be shot on the floor, not at them. People.
Not at their heads, which are being shot at their heads.
So there's some people who have, like, a 16-year-old kid got shot. I don't know how he's doing. I think he might be okay, but it was bad. A girl, I think, lost her eye. The tear gas canisters are being hit and hitting people too. they're now cutting people's hands as the police are cutting people. I forget what it's called when you're wrapped up in that like.
Oh, the
not a handcuff. Zip ties.
Yeah.
So they're cutting their hands on purpose because if it's not one, it's like it happened to like several people now, and it's been posted on Reddit again.
Yeah.
It's being documented. Now they're doing it on purpose. The other thing that is interesting was there was this lady who was pregnant, and she was in the car with her 9-year-old daughter, and she was pulled over 10 days after she was in a protest, and they said, well, you assaulted me, and you did other things in this protest, and they arrested her. So now there's facial recognition.
Yeah.
So people are being have you ever heard of that? Like, you're kind of being hunted down if you go to protest now.
Yeah.
Kidnappings too. Like, a lot of these girls, there's videos of them getting taken in unmarked police cars, and people aren't hearing back from them. Yeah, it's been very weird. This week's been strange. Okay. So it's very frightening what's going on. That old 75-year-old man was pushed to the floor, bleeding out of his ear. Those 2 cops, they're not in trouble, and they're not
arrested, but I mean,
they got out.
Yeah.
And their crew, like 50 people were in the streets. 50 cops were clapping for them. So we're in a weird time right now that doesn't seem very constitutional in my book. It doesn't seem American.
Yeah, it's not.
It's un-American, it's unconstitutional, and I'm very frightened because a lot of people are still backing
half of the country.
Backing this
half of the country is still backing it.
A lot.
So, again, and I've been having a lot of conversation with some of the white people in my community. And, we tell them about, these videos or people's experiences, and at least the ones I've been talking about, like, oh, that's, which isn't bad. They're listening. Yeah. But I implore people, if you have not already, to really stop relying on Fox News and CNN.
Yeah.
And, for your news, because it's giving you it's giving you the narrative they exactly want to show you to keep you on their side. And that's not the true narrative. And so you need to really be relying on places like Reddit, even Instagram. I know Instagram is, you can't really credit Instagram as, a reliable source, but literally people are giving you live streams of what's happening. It's not edited.
No.
No. It can't be. No. It's live.
It's all there.
And it's showing you exactly what is happening as if you were there. So, I just really encourage you to start looking elsewhere for your news, because that is one of the biggest issues in our country, is how our freaking media, just all around, left and right, throw things at us, and people unfortunately are not educated enough to do things for themselves, so they rely on that, and then that's exactly what it is, and that's why there's such a pushback in this clash, because people are literally thinking exactly what Chris Tucker or I don't know who for CNN, but it's just like they believe exactly what they say.
Carl Tucker.
Carl Tucker said, I don't know. Not Chris Tucker. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. Ghoul. Anyway, that guy. Him. And so it's just it's really important that people stop listening to that. That's one big thing that will help. If
research,
educate. Which is, again, when it comes to the police reform, another thing. And I don't know all the steps of what it takes to be,
And we don't claim to know.
We are not.
We don't know.
Police officers, so we don't know.
We don't know, and we do want to say we do respect people's jobs, right? We understand that there are, again, good people, and they do protect people, and they do save people. There is that, but at the same time, there's just so much bad.
So many bad
happening,
and we don't want to make it black and white of good cops and bad cops. Honestly, there are a very good handful of shit cops. There's those bad cops. There's a very good handful of good cops, and then there's just and then the rest are cops that just don't know
the system of how it goes down.
They just think this is what it is, and one thing that needs to happen for police officers, despite whatever city or state you're in, there needs to be classes on civil rights,
Yes.
Or like civil movements or some type of civil activism or something where they have to like learn more about the community and the people they serve, because there's been such like this separation. In the mayor said that, or one mayor or someone had said it, where it's just like there's such this disconnect and there's no trust between the people and the cops. So the cops have to understand all aspects of the civilians that they take care of, that they protect. And so that has to be put into police training if it isn't already. Yeah. And if it is, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, it just does. It is what it is. You can see the thousands of videos all over. You can Google it. You can go on YouTube. You can go on Reddit. You can go on Pornhub, probably. They probably have some stuff on there, too. I don't know. No. But I just think that I'm glad that we're talking openly about this. Mm-hmm. I think other people are opening up. They're talking more about it. And at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what it takes to go into change and to reform and to do this or that. Like, we watched that video
with the mayor,
Jacob Frey,
yes,
I believe.
Yes.
And he was, I thought it was gracious of him to go into the public looking like a 20-year-old child.
Stop it.
He looks so young. He's young looking. I'm just saying. He's a good looking man. I'll say that. But he was there and he was like trying to be a part of what was happening. And he has been on top of it. He has been an ally for the people.
He called for those cops.
He called for them. He's been emotional. He's been real. He's been whatever. And then this girl takes the mic and she's just like really aggressive about it. And she's like, "Do you, yes or no?" I'll put the clip.
It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department?
Mayor Jacob Frey answered he didn't support the full abolition of MPD, and before he could finish,
if you're asking whether I'm for massive structural reform to revise a structurally racist system, the answer is yes. If you're asking whether I will do everything possible to push back on the inherent inequities that are literally built into the architecture, the answer is yes.
And she's just like, talking like that to him, and she's like, do you want to defund the police? And then she's like basically talking about abolishing all police. Yeah. No more police. She even says that. And it's just like the spotlight's on him, and he answers very honestly that no, I don't plan on doing that. But I think he was planning on probably moving funds around and like working like this conversation that we're having. But everyone booed him. And it's just like, you guys, we cannot eat our own. We can't do that. And I feel like that's the one sucky part about like stuff like this is there's going to be people on different spectrums, right? Because I feel like we're all together. We all believe that this is a human rights, civil rights issue. We need equality. We need all of this, but we're all on different levels of like understanding and like
how to approach it.
Our politics are different.
Yeah.
But like, so there's going to be people butting heads, but people like her, which I'm sure a lot of people were like, think she's great. I don't think
she was great.
I don't think she was great.
If she sees this, I'm sorry, but like, that was very irrational. It's very irrational. And again, it's like, and people have used this analogy before. This is not fast food, and I've used this too. It's not fast food.
Yes.
We cannot get all this stuff done in like a week.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. This is a long, slow process. So while we're all like umped up and fired up now, like this will go back to being the same if we let it fizzle to let that happen. But it's just like, we just need to keep moving forward and take it day by day. And asking the mayor then and there, be like, are you going to abolish it? And like, are you really expecting people to, oh yeah, 2 days, like kick them, send them all to New Mexico. Get out of here.
New Mexico.
No, that's not going to happen. It takes time. And the fact that we're moving towards that is a good thing.
Yes, it is. I feel like all these marches, all these protests are very positive. Yes. And I feel like he was very honest, and I trust him, because if he would have kissed ass in that moment and was like, yeah, we'll do that.
I hear you.
He knew there was a big crowd that could get probably a little ugly if things
violent even
changed.
Yeah.
He said very kindly, No, I don't. I don't. I commend him for being honest. I feel like that's a good leader. That's leadership qualities that you want. You want someone to be upfront. And then they booed the poor man. He walked out real sad. He
did. It's like the saddest song.
I felt really upset watching that. I was like, how dare you?
I was,
dare you? We're trying to figure it out. We're just regular lay people trying to figure it out. And these people
think of solutions.
These people are in a very high stress job where it's life or death. And if you can't process that and you can't understand how important your job is, don't become a police officer. It is not a power trip job. It's not to like manhandle people. It's not to abuse people. It's to protect people.
Well, it's not right now. So I would say don't be a police officer right now.
I think right now, if you're trying to plan to be an officer, maybe
for all the and I was watching that one interview and I think I sent it to you. But for all the young black men that's like, I want to be a police officer so I can change the system. This ain't the time that it's gonna change. No. I mean, we're getting closer, hopefully. But it's just it's so the white supremacy, racism is so entwined in that system, and with the deals with prisons and supply demand, all that stuff. Yeah. It's you're not going to really do much good. Yeah. I mean, there's the good police officers again, but we need more people just educating themselves, getting with the movement and activism and whatnot. Yeah. But
there's a lot that
we
can all do. So
but educating ourselves is just the biggest thing.
It is, yeah. I think a lot of people we're all on the same page for the most part. I just think the fact is this being on Facebook and seeing these older people, these Karens and stuff, they're making funny posts about putting their knees on their husband's neck. There was
the George Floyd challenge.
There's that challenge.
That fucked up challenge.
Yep. I mean, it's just, you would think people would understand. I don't know. No. What I'm saying is there's still hate. There's racism.
Lots of it.
And it's right here in our own backyard. Yeah. Right here. And it's scary. It's a weird time right now. This is not a time to be divided. This is a time to come together and fight together. And I'm proud of the people protesting, who are fighting and they're in the resistance. You guys are doing your thing. I don't believe in destroying things and stuff like that and looting. But I understand also the people who are just they don't know what else to do because we have done peaceful marches. We have done peaceful protests. Colin Kaepernick has bent the knee, and people still
we were un-American at that point. We were un-American. And now we're just crazy rioters.
He did that for police brutality. Yeah. But yet that was not enough. That was not good enough. And it's just never going to be good enough. Nothing's ever going to be good enough. So, of course, people are breaking things and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with it. I think that there's... I mean, there's things, I understand some of them. There's some people who are taking advantage of the system, and they're making the Black Lives Matter look bad. They're making everyone look bad, and a lot of them are young white kids or people who are not black, and that's been recorded that black young people are saying, "Don't do it. You're gonna make us look bad." Blah 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 blah. You guys have probably seen the videos. If you haven't, please look it up. But it's just what are you going to do when you keep doing something and you keep trying to figure it out? You're going to lose it at some point. You're trying to make a statement. Look, we're hurting. We're upset. Yeah. See us. Can you see us? We're here. We're human. We bleed. We're all the same. But it's, people will not care. And I've just looking at comments on Facebook and stuff. I think that we're getting to a place where people are going to wake up and realize the truth. But then it will be divided.
There'll be a great divide.
We're gonna take our stand.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's just a weird thing. I feel like we're about to see some. It's just the beginning, really.
Yeah, there's gonna be some civil war type things happening. But I don't want any black people seeing this, or people of color seeing this, who are in those hot spots like Minneapolis or where's the other really big one?
For protest?
Yeah. Obviously in New York and everything, but we don't want you to think that we are trying to not belittle, but like, make this less than what it is. We know
this is big.
how much anger and hurt there is in this country. And so like even with that girl who talks to the mayor, like I know it comes from a place of hurt
pain
and pain.
Sure.
So we understand that, but it's just like we've all been hurting it and been suffering it and been in pain. So now it's just like while we have everyone's eye, especially around the world, again, like it keeps happening where we get these like big hurrah moments where it's like everyone's paying attention. Mm-hmm. So now it's just like we need to use this time where everyone is starting to pay attention and think of solutions and think of how to move forward. And again, that's donating to the right causes and supporting and using your voice and calling out freaking racist pigs when you see them in the streets. Like, start calling them out. That kind of stuff needs to be happening versus us just being screaming.
Karens need to use their power for good. Because
that's one thing that really creates that big divide is what the media puts out for us to view. And, it's on both sides. It is. You think Fox is bad. Well, CNN can also be just as bad. And CNN, you think they're bad. Well, Fox is just as bad. So
it's just falling into what they want.
Yeah.
What is it? It's called the Hegelian dialectic. It's like a thing. It's called there's thesis and antithesis when it comes together. It's like synthesis or something.
Look at you! Look, you're using these big old fancy words.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying. When it just comes back down to no, we should do this. No, we should do that. And then in the middle, we're in the middle as sheep, and we it's all coming into our heads without our own thought process and research. Anyways,
stay educated, my friends.
We keep talking. There's a lot. There's really so much more, and maybe we'll come back with another video.
Yeah, that would be nice to revisit some things.
Because we barely, this is not even scratching the surface because we didn't talk about what we've actually suffered through racism and through prejudice and through all of that. So it might be something that we might do more often, especially in this movement right now. But we appreciate all of you guys for listening and for really like trying to learn, and we're trying to learn too about everything.
There's a lot again, and there's a lot that Black people don't know, like people of color, like there's things I didn't know about. And one thing I'm very unfamiliar with is how messed up the actual criminal justice system is for Black women, which is why 13th is a movie that has been recommended. So I'm going to be watching that. I think you had mentioned it, so that's maybe a place for you to start to understand a little bit more about our country's history with young black men being sentenced or sent to prison. So but we love you all. We do. We hope you're safe and well.
We do. I feel like this is a big moment for all of us, and it's been a lot to handle. Just so much information, so much negative. Just a lot of negativity. Really.
Yeah.
There are sweet and cute moments here and there, but it's scary. And those of you who are actually in the midst of the fight, like the physical fight, I commend you guys. You guys are being true, citizens of the United States. I keep bringing this up, but
you're fighting for America.
You're doing it. You're as part of this. This is a big movement.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of people who are like getting hurt in the process. It's scary. So, but yeah, we hope to come back and do some more of these videos, and we just hope everyone can kind of take it easy, rest, remember to eat, drink water.
Take some time for yourself, definitely.
Yes.
Make sure that you do that.
But yeah, we're here.
We love you.
We're all here. We're all in this together. We're all in this together.
And remember, Black Lives Matter. Okay?
They do, and it doesn't mean your life doesn't matter if you're not Black. It really it means we're all in this together. Literally, it's all love. It really is. So. We'll see you guys in another video.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye,
everybody.
Can't forget about your face now. Your style and your grace now. There's clearly no debate now. You're all in second base now.